Hello. I would just thought I'd touch on the subject of trauma bonding and how it's kind of affected me and where I'm at with it and where you may be. And I don't know if you know anything about trauma bonding, but another name for it is Stockholm syndrome. And it's basically where you've become so attached to someone. You've been brainwashed through trauma, basically. You know, they've used fear to get you to change your mind about them and the situation you're going through. That's about the simplest way that I can put it. They like with my ex, she used fear several different times with, you know, either leaving, trying to commit suicide, threatening to take my kids away, or, you know, things like that. You know, things that you're afraid of, cheating, you know. And she would just keep stepping it up because it's like they have to do that because any sane person slowly starts recognizing what's happening. I mean, your brain realizes this is not right. And with me, it took me having to learn about the abuse. You know, it took me learning that I wasn't the one that was screwed up in the relationship. I wasn't the one doing it. I was the one being put through it. And it sucks because I've been 2 months without the relationship since I left. And there are still times when, even knowing as bad as it was, I'm still like, why did you leave? You know, you still had your children, you still had your family, you know, you still had this pattern that you could go by that was stable. And, you know, a lot of it kind of goes with codependency too. I mean, you could be codependent, and, you know, I think you're still affected a lot. I think if not easier by trauma bonding. I mean, it's just like easier for them to get in there and get to you. And a lot of it, you may not even realize what's going on until after it's too late, and that's most of it, so don't feel bad about it. But with me right now, like I said, I've been 2 months out of the relationship, and here the past couple of weeks, I've just been, hopefully what I'm hoping has happened is decluttering all that crap, getting rid of it, throwing it in that waste bin and hitting delete, you know, permanently removed. But it's been hard because, you know, I've been thinking a lot about it. And, you know, I just sit here and go, man, if I would have stayed, you know, and that's the brainwashing. Because if I would have stayed, I know that I would have eventually killed myself. I know that. Because she had just put me in 14 years of this stuff. I mean, hardcore. You know, and I'm not trying to toot my own horn about how tough I am. No, you know, it's not about being tough. They're just that good. And she was like super good at brainwashing and just knowing how to manipulate people. And it's hard trying to undo all that. And I've had to rely on my dreams a lot. And I'm not going to get all mystical with you, or Freudian or anything, you know. I just think if you look at the images in your dream and try to understand them as messages, then, you know, not every dream is a message, you know, it's not. But, you know, the ones that you feel like are something, then check into them, you know, figure them out, because they're more than likely trying to tell you something that you don't get, or you don't understand, or you don't want to accept. And whenever you start digging into it, I know when I start digging into my dreams, I'm like, you know what, that kind of makes sense, you know. And it's just the best way to start shortcutting. I mean, that's really the only shortcut you're going to get through the pain and the anguish, because you're withdrawing from love. I mean, people like us have big, gigantic hearts, and we love so much. And that's one reason it's so hard for us to understand how these venomous people are the way they are, because I still really can't wrap my mind around it. I really can't. I give up trying. I don't understand how someone can be that way. I know they've had trauma. I've had trauma in my life before this. I mean, I had a really messed up childhood that I believe made me codependent. And it's just, you know, we go one way, they go the other, you know, yin and yang. But it's really messed up. And I just give up trying to even, because you can't. And it's a waste of time to try to understand something like that. It really, really is. But the best thing you can do, man, is love yourself, forgive yourself, and be patient with yourself. Because you're going to be hurting for a while. I know personally, I thought, man, when I leave this relationship, my pain will stop, I'll start figuring out who I am, and I'll start rebuilding my life. Well, I was right about some of it. You know, I am starting to figure out who I am. And you will too, because you're not going to be the same person you've been for the last period of time you were in that relationship. You won't be, because you stopped being that person when you chose to leave. Or if you were discarded, then you're going to have a little bit harder of a time, because you are still having to figure it out. You're still having to deal with an extra component that you were discarded. You were pushed to the side. Whereas the people who choose to leave, like I did, you know, we don't have that weight of the discard. You know, we've been through the discard cycles, but I mean, mine was just crazy. It's just all the time. But so I can really understand where y'all are having a little bit of extra hard time. And I don't mean a little bit lightly. I mean, you got it pretty bad. But we've all got to, you know, just focus on healing ourselves. And whenever, you know, I did leave, you know, I didn't have that discard. I was kind of a step ahead prepared, knowing what I'd seen in videos and heard about. But there's no amount of videos that you can watch. There's nothing you're going to read that is going to end your pain. It's going to stop your suffering. It's not going to do it. It's just not going to happen. And you're going to have to accept the fact that you're going to hurt. And for the past 2 weeks, I've been suffering really bad. And my friends have been there for me. You know, my family's been there for me. But I know I still lean on them. But a lot of it is I'm going to have to just lean on myself, you know. I've got to do it myself. Because in a way, the more I I'm trying to say this without saying not to count on people or not to use people to help you heal. Because if they want to help you, you should utilize that. But you're not going to be able to continually do that and expect to be healed. Because that's the kind of thinking and emotional stuff that we were looking for in the relationship, just in a different way. And the only person that's going to heal you anyway is you. You know, you know you better than you. And the thing is, you have to understand that right now, you is changing, you is evolving. You are not who you were in that relationship. And trauma bonding really screws your head up. I mean, it screws it up bad. You have to become educated about it, because that's the only way you're going to really beat it. And I don't mean beat it as, you know, hey, I won, it's done, it's gone. Because more than likely, it's never going to completely go away. But it will get to a point to where you can start living your life more normally. Now, I'm not speaking from any kind of experience there. I'm speaking from what I hope happens. Not that I hope that I keep it forever, but I hope that I keep enough of it to remind me not to do that shit again with someone like that, to keep my eyes wide open all the time, to not let my guard down just nonchalantly to everyone, because everyone out there is not going to be having my best interest at heart. Just because we do stuff like that for people doesn't mean they will. In fact, the majority of people are not going to have your best interest at heart. They are going to have their own. And again, I recommend you getting in touch with people that, you know, have had experience with this, because I'm planning on hitting my support groups up, you know, trying to figure some of this stuff out, because it is a pain, man. Like I said, I've been 2 weeks, but, you know, you have to leave it behind, but you have to process it and go through the pain, because, I mean, it is a shitty thing that happened to all of us. No matter your situation, no matter your narc, your sociopath, it was a shitty thing that they did to us. And through it, you're going to grow. And now, you know, I keep having people tell me that too, and I'm like, yeah, I know, I keep hearing this shit all the time. But I don't feel growth. I don't feel like I'm growing in any damn way except in misery. But if you take time and just break it down, you can see little things. And you know what? Little things add up. They do, because, I mean, you can put 100 pillows on you and you can probably be alright. But if you put 100 pounds of sand on you, you're going to be dead. You know, eventually it's going to stop your breathing. But, I tell you what, you know, well, that analogy made no damn sense. 100 pounds, 100 pounds, but, you know, little things add up. I mean, I'm trying to think ahead while I'm talking, because I'm kind of droning on, but, you know, check out videos and learn about trauma bonding, learn about Stockholm syndrome, because more than likely you're going through it, and it's normal. It's a completely normal situation, and you're not alone. And I know I'm not alone, even though I feel alone. But if anybody ever wants to talk, man, just get a hold of me on here, and I'm here. That's what I want to do. I want to help people, and I'm trying to help myself before I can help anyone else. But if I know of anything I can do for you, or talk to you about my experiences, or you want to share yours, you know, do it, share it. I recommend, you know, support groups. You know, I don't have any in my area. You know, men don't really have anything, and that's a goal of mine. Once I get better, you know, I'm gonna start some. You know, I don't really see how I'm going to do it. I don't really know how I'm going to do it, you know, because right now I'm scraping by, you know. I barely have anything at all, and let alone my wits or any advice for anybody. But record yourself, make videos, do whatever you need to do to start healing, because we need more good people out in the world, and we don't need you to stay codependent all your life. We don't need you to stay in this mentality of pain. We need warriors that are going to help other people, and that's what I would like to do, and inspire other people to do, if nothing else, you know, because there's so many more screwed up people than there are good people, I think. But that's just the world I've lived in. But God bless y'all, and thank you.